Welcome to Math Practice with Miss Flaherty. Here's what you'll need. You'll need your YouTube Workbook. Today we'll turn to page 19. Be sure at the top it says 5/27 because today is May 27th. You'll also need a pencil and an eraser. Feel free to pause or rewind the video as much as you'd like so you can work at your own speed. Hey first grade teammates, I'm really excited to get started on math practice today, but let's first start with some shout outs. Let's say way to go, Leela. Leela was getting comfortable in bed and making sure that she was showing all of her bar models as she watched one of our story problem YouTube videos. Great job. Let's say way to go, Joel. Ooh, Joel, he was even labeling his answers to make sure that he was answering the question in the story problem. Great job. And say, way to go, Kayla. Wow, Kayla, look at that neat, organized work. Keep up the great work, friends. Make sure you snap a picture of your YouTube workbook. I can't wait to see your strategies today. So let's get started with some story problems. What are some of the things that great mathematicians do every single time they get a new story problem? We should be experts at this by now. That's right, great mathematicians visualize or make a brain movie inside their head. We really want to understand what's going on in our story. We should always think about what we know and what we're trying to find out. And last but not least, we should show a model, like a bar model, and write a number sentence to match. So today we're going to continue working on comparing story problems. When we compare, we try to find the part that's different or the part that's extra between two different values. So for example, I could compare how many circles are in the blue bar and how many circles are in the pink bar. When I'm comparing, my teacher might ask me questions like, how many more? When I want to figure out how many more, I'm trying to understand the part that's extra. So for example, how many more circles are in the blue bar than the pink bar? Can you try to figure that out? Yeah, that's right. You can count that part that's extra. I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of the blue bar. All right. Sometimes my teacher's going to ask me questions that say, how many fewer? Fewer is the mathematician word for less. So we could say, how many fewer circles are in the pink bar than the blue bar? What would our answer be? How many fewer are there? That's right. We still look at this part that's extra here, but our answer will be a little flipped. Instead of talking about how many more the blue bar has, we can say that the pink bar has 5 fewer. Because if I start here, I have to count backwards 5 times to get to the number that the pink bar has. So I'm really excited to see you use strategies like this as we tackle our story problems today. Let's get started. All right, teammates, as I read our story problem, make sure you're listening carefully and making a brain movie in your head. Miss Phipps has 15 bouncy balls for recess. Miss Bryn has 9 bouncy balls. How many more bouncy balls does Miss Phipps have than Miss Bryn? I'm going to read it one more time. Miss Phipps has 15 bouncy balls for recess. Miss Bryn has 9 bouncy balls. How many more bouncy balls does Miss Phipps have than Miss Bryn? Ooh, I hear that important question, how many more? That tells me that I'm trying to find that part that's extra or different between these two values. Let's go ahead and set up a bar model in our YouTube workbook. Be sure you've opened up your workbook to today's page. Make sure at the top it says 5/27 because today is May 27th. All right, I'm going to pick green for Miss Phipps, and I'm going to label her bar P for Miss Phipps. Good mathematicians always label their model so someone can understand it. Now, I'm going to label in purple B for Miss Bryn. I don't really want to draw bouncy balls, so I'm just going to use the second grade strategy and show these values in a bar model. So whose bar is going to be longer? Who has more bouncy balls? Yeah, that's right. Miss Phipps has more bouncy balls. So let's make sure that her bar looks a bit longer. Great. And now I need to label the value. She has 15. All right, how many bouncy balls did Miss Bryn have? Yeah, that's right, she had 9. So make sure her bar looks a bit shorter. All right, now let's really think about what we already know and what we're trying to figure out. What did the question ask us? Did it ask us how many bouncy balls they both have altogether? No, it's not asking us to put these values together. What is it asking us? That's right, we want to know how many more Miss Phipps has. So I notice she has this part that's extra, that's sticking off. We want to know how many extra she has. All right, we've been practicing this for a few weeks now. I want you to set up a number sentence that can help you solve for how many more Miss Phipps has. What number sentence can help you find that part that's different? Go ahead and write that down in your workbook. All right, let's check our number sentences together. Now remember, if you made a mistake, that's okay. We can look back at our barn model and at the question to really try to think again about what the story is asking us to figure out. So I could write an addition number sentence or I could write a subtraction number sentence to help me figure this part out. I'm going to first write an addition sentence. In addition, I'm putting parts together to make the total. So look at this barn model. What are the parts and what's the total? Yeah, that's right. 15 is the biggest number here, so that's actually the total because Miss Phipps had the most bouncy balls. And Miss Bryn's number was smaller, so her number is a part. And then this part that's extra or different, how many more Miss Phipps has, is the other part. So I'm going to use purple here. I can write 9 because that's how many Miss Bryn has, plus something else equals 15. Let's think about that. If I start from 9 and I add on how many more Miss Phipps had, I get to Miss Phipps' number, 15. All right, go ahead and use a strategy to solve and figure out what that part is. Maybe this is a fact, power fact you know in a snap. All right, I could catch 9 in my brain and see how many more I need to count on to get to Miss Phipps' number, 15. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I counted on 6. Ooh, and a lot of you knew that fact, power fact. 9 plus 6 equals 15. Now this is the trickiest part. I really want to push us as mathematicians to not just stop there. I want us to use the answer that we found to actually answer the question from the story. So let's look back at the question part of the story. It said, how many more bouncy balls does Miss Phipps have than Miss Bryn? So how can I flip that into an answer to answer the question? Yeah, that's right. I can say Miss Phipps. So I'm actually going to try to squeeze this in my workbook. I want to see you try this too. Miss Phipps. Maybe I'll write Miss P for short. Has. All right. How many more bouncy balls did she have? What was this part that's different? That's right. She had 6 more. has 6 more bouncy balls. I'm just going to write balls so that I have enough space. Has 6 more bouncy balls than Miss Britt. All right, you try to use your neatest writing just like I'm trying my best. Great, we can call, when we write our answer, we can call that a solution sentence. It's a complete sentence that answers the question. Nice work, teammates. Check your work and then let's get started on our next challenge story problem. As I read the story problem, make sure you're visualizing and making a brain movie of what's going on. You should be able to see Kendrick and Miss Doherty in your imagination. Kendrick has 14 coins. Miss Doherty has 7 coins. How many fewer coins does Miss Doherty have than Kendrick? I'm going to read that one more time. Be ready to try to put this in your own words. Kendrick has 14 coins. Miss Doherty has 7 coins. How many fewer coins does Miss Doherty have than Kendrick? Go ahead and tell that story problem to a family member who's nearby or to yourself. Yeah, that's right. I heard a lot of you say that Kendrick has more coins than Miss Doherty. Miss Doherty has fewer or less. We want to know how many fewer, how many less she has than Kendrick. All right, in your YouTube workbook, let's make sure that we are starting in a new separate workspace. So maybe you can draw a little line to get started on our second problem. And I'm going to go ahead and set up a bar model. Great mathematicians can just label the initials to represent the name so we know whose bar is whose. So K for Kendrick and D for Miss Doherty. Whose bar is going to be longer? Who had more coins? You got it. Kendrick had more coins. So let's make Kendrick's bar a little bit longer. All right. And Miss Doherty, oops, I almost forgot to label the value. How many coins did Kendrick have? Yeah, he had 14 coins. Nice. All right, and Miss Doherty only had 7, so I'm going to make her bar go right about to the middle and label her value. All right, now let's really think about what the question was asking us to figure out. Is it asking us how many coins they have altogether? No way. It's not asking me to put these values together. And if I check out my bar model, I'm not putting these values together. What was the question asking us? Yeah, that's right. The question is asking us how many fewer Miss Doherty had. So I notice if I start where Kendrick's value ends at his 14, I have to go backwards this much to get to Miss Doherty's value, 7. Miss Doherty has a lot fewer. She has less. Less means not as many. So I'm wondering what number sentence could help me figure out this part that's different, this part that Miss Doherty doesn't have. Go ahead and I want you to write that number sentence underneath your bar model. Let's challenge our brains. We've been working on these story problems for quite some time now. All right, let's check our number sentences together. You could write an addition number sentence, but this time, since we're talking about how many fewer, I think I want to write a subtraction number sentence. So I'm going to start with Kendrick's value of 14, and then I'm wondering, how many do I have to count backwards or take away to get to Miss Doherty's value? So 14 minus something equals 7. I wonder what this part is. Go ahead and use a strategy like counting backwards or counting on in your brain to figure out that missing part. Maybe this is a fact you know in a snap too. All right, what did you get? That's right. That part is 7. If I start at 14, I have to count backwards 7 to get to 7. Ooh, this is part of a fact family that I know because 7 and 7 together, they make 14. That's a doubles fact. 7 plus 7 equals 14. All right, but here's the tricky part. I'm not going to stop here. We need to answer the question. So look back at the question. How are you going to flip that into an answer? What will you write down? I want to hear you say it. Yeah, we can say that Miss Doherty. So go ahead and write this with me. Miss Doherty has how many fewer coins? Yeah, that's right. 7 fewer. Has 7 fewer coins than Kendrick, because Kendrick had more. Make sure you have your solution sentence next to or underneath your bar model. Awesome. All right, teammates, there's one more challenge coming your way, and this will be like an exit ticket. You're going to get to try it all by yourself. All right, teammates, as I read the story problem, be sure to make a brain movie inside your head so you really understand this one. Taryn has 11 pencils in his seed sack. Joel has 9 pencils in his seed sack. How many more pencils does Taryn have than Joel? I'll read it one more time. Taryn has 11 pencils in his seed sack. Joel has 9 pencils in his seed sack. How many more pencils does Taryn have than Joel? All right, teammates, make sure that you set up your bar models and really think carefully about what this question is asking us to figure out. I can't wait to see your number sentence and, just like we practiced, a solution sentence that answers the question. Make sure you're showing your neatest work in your workbook. Go ahead and get started right now. All right, you keep working and make sure you snap a picture of this exit ticket and send it to your teacher. I can't wait to see it. Great job, first grade.